Hi, everyone. I'm Lisa D'Amico. I'm the curator at the Art Gallery at the Rockefeller State Park Preserve. And I have the pleasure today of speaking with Elaine. Now, Elaine is a longtime patron of the gallery, and she is also a very dedicated arts advocate across the arts. But today we're going to be speaking about the exhibit that's currently in the gallery, which is still Moments Reimagined. So, welcome, Elaine.
Hi.
I'm so thrilled to talk to you because I know that you know this exhibit almost as well as I do.
Oh, not quite. I may know the park almost as well as you do, but not necessarily all the paintings. But it's a very interesting exhibit I found too.
Oh, good.
Partially because specifically for three of the people who took the photos, I know them really well. And I know, first of all, every one of the photos, I know exactly where it was taken in the park because I have walked all the trails of the park. But some of them speak to me in a different way, I guess I would say. So I loved looking at it. I really do love looking. I love looking at art, though. But this was particularly meaningful.
I'm very curious, which three artists do you know well?
Okay, Jessica Creedon, Christine Breglia, and Bill Golden. Okay, I also know Heidi, not as well, but I often would meet Heidi in the parking lot, and then I knew what she did. So I've actually met her where she took the photo she took.
Wonderful. That's wonderful because for me, on the other end, I don't really know the photographers. I've met a couple briefly, but overall, I really don't know them. And I think that made it easy for me to select the photos that I wanted to put into this exhibit. Because as you know, all of these photos come from last year's exhibit, really at the same time that was held at the library.
Right, at the Warner Library.
Yes.
And it was, I was there. Okay, so you really saw these close up, but you were crowded. So you didn't really get a chance to like stand back, get close, the kind of things I really like to do. I like to see things from very close and very far. I like to zoom in on certain things. I don't know if you want me to talk about specific paintings, but like Bill Golden is particularly one of those people when he posts his pictures on Facebook with the explanation, because he always gives an explanation. I'm able to really zoom in on the picture and see the particular bird that he's showing and really all the parts of it because he's got a really good photo of it. But someone like Jessica Creedon's, which was the one, hers is at Cantor Alley, and I've often met her at Cantor Alley, but the place I met her the most was at Swan Lake. And she would run in between her kids getting on the bus and her job. And she would say, I want to capture this mist. And that's exactly what's in her photo. And it's interesting, I found in the exhibit, where somebody's photo and painting are easily connected. You know, this is the painting of this photo. So Jessica's means a lot to me because I know her family, her little kids. I've watched them since they were little. Can't believe they're as old and as big as they are now. So that painting has real meaning for me. The same thing is true with Christine's painting. And Christine's I don't know if you remember, I don't know if you know them, like when I just rattle them like that, but Christine's painting is at Swan Lake. And I often met her there. We'd look out at something. I've often taken the same photo she's taken. I don't take photos often because I find that, walking my dog, I don't really do other things than pay attention to the dog and that I don't trip. And she doesn't pull me to something I don't want to be pulled to. But Christine's I found really interesting because the artist who painted hers was very different than a realistic whatever display of what she took the photo of. And I found that really interesting on hers particularly. That is what, I took Yeah, it's funny, I don't even know that I would have noticed that that was Christine's photo. And while I really like the photo, okay, um, it was just very different than a photo. I mean, I like the painting. It was very different than the photo. I would say the same thing was true with Heidi's. Okay? Now, partially that's because when I looked at Heidi's picture, again, you see a lot of mist, you see a lot. In the painting of it, I saw it as a road. Isn't that odd?
I love that interpretation. That's
So,
really interesting.
yeah, I saw it. So I might not, if I had seen it in isolation, I'm not sure if you had given me a puzzle and I had to match which ones go to which ones. I don't know that I would have put those two together. Unless I got to the end and they were the only two left. Okay, and I think they're both beautiful in their own right. That's what I want to say too. They're beautiful in their own right, but not necessarily would I've said that the painting was the painting of Heidi's photo. So,
And I have to tell you, you saying that, I really take that as a compliment, because one of my priorities in creating this exhibit is I wanted to have a diverse collection of visual artists who would reinterpret those photos, not always in a very literal way.
right.
I wanted that.
And that's true. That is what you accomplished. Absolutely. So let me ask this question then. Okay, you picked the photos, or you picked the artists, obviously. Did they choose what photo they wanted to paint? Did you give them the whole option of all the photos that won the contest, or did you pick the photos?
I picked the photos, and I based the pairing of the photo with the visual artist. Really, I focused on the visual artist's aesthetic. And I wanted to find a photo in that grouping of those 20 that would speak to that artist.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And I have to say, most of the artists were fine with their photos, but some of them were really challenged by the photos that I gave them, even though my intention was the reverse.
To match them to something.
Yes. But they all took on that challenge really well. And what I really wanted them to do was to stick to their own personal artistic style.
Right.
I didn't want them to try to please the photographer or please me in any way. I wanted them to stay true to themselves.
Right. Now, I thought that, I'll tell you, when you say that, okay, I can tell you the one, first of all, every one of them, particularly the photos, because as I said, I know exactly where they're taken in the preserve. Exactly. Okay. Some of them I found, I'll tell you the one that struck me the most. Okay. A couple of them did. One was the one of the archway. It was called, hold on a second, because I wrote it down because it really affected, Tunnel to Heaven. Okay. And I loved that. And then I loved the painting of that. Even though, again, would I have matched those two? Never. Okay. But both of them, I know exactly where that is taken. And then the way it was interpreted, I loved that. And I love being, and this is true anywhere. Like, I love to go to Christie's, okay? Christie's lets you put your face next to the picture, okay? The Met does not let you do that, okay? So I love where you can actually really zoom in on something and see what it is. And sometimes actually in a photo, you can zoom in better than you can in actually the reality of the painting, okay? I don't know if that makes sense at all. But that one really struck me. Another one that struck me was it was the fern. Okay, now the expression on your face is like, really?
No. I agree with you. I totally agree with you. I love that paint. That's actually a mixed media piece with paint and paper and by Aviva Sokolsky. I love her interpretation of the fern.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness.
You see the closed fern, and then she opened it up, and the colors in that are so beautiful. The one is just the green fern, okay? And it's closed, and it's a beautiful picture of the fern, but her interpretation of it, I thought, was beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah. So that was one that struck me. Another one that struck me was the one of walking into Rockwood Hall, and it's just a path, and there's a tree, okay, and that tree is gone now. And when that tree fell, you don't have that sense from the photo. The tree was gigantic, okay, and when it fell, and you went up and looked at it fallen, okay, it was just amazing to see that tree. So that picture to me, it almost shows like how things really change. Here you've got a picture only a year ago, and that tree is completely gone, cleaned up and everything, so that one really stuck. You know what another one that did was Stone Barns. Okay, now I love that picture, okay, but I also have a painting in my house by Brugler that it reminds me of so much. I couldn't find the painting, online to show it to you. I took a picture of mine, but it has glare in it a lot. But first of all, I really love the connection between Stone Barns and the preserve. I love that they work together, do programs together, learn from each other. I've done programs there on land management, and I'm awed with what they do, and so it holds a special place also. But I also just think the painting is beautiful. There's a serenity about it. That for me, okay, that I just love. I just, that was one of the ones I noted.
Elaine, with that one, the visual artist is Joyce Burns, excuse me, and that piece has sold, which is wonderful. She works in pastels, so that's not paint. Those are like, for
I know what pastels. I do know.
For anyone listening who doesn't know, it's almost like a creamy, oily cream.
Right.
And what Joyce did in that piece is outstanding. The way she can control her medium and create the composition that she did, it just, when it arrived, it blew my mind. It really did.
It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. For me, it's the connection to what it is, as well as the beauty of the photograph and the artist's painting. I loved that. It's funny when you go into something, especially as diverse as this exhibit, you're just drawn to certain things for different reasons, okay? And like you said, when you get close up, that's why I think you wish more people would always just stop in the gallery, because there's a difference between seeing them online and then walking in there. I'm often saddened that I can't go in as much as I might often go in, but that's because I have a little dog, and a little dog not allowed in there. So, and she's my primary purpose, for being there every day. But I just love, when you get to go in more than once, because you see things differently by where you are, just the whole atmosphere in the place, what it's like outside. You really do see different things. I want to see if I noted anything else that I love the pictures of the Mechanico River, okay, the bridges. But that's because every time I go to a place in the preserve, I think, I haven't been here. I just love this part of the preserve. And then I think another. Then I just love, and I know that I have no place that I would say this is my favorite place anymore. It's what a part of the preserve might evoke a memory of for me, whether I learned something there or I did something there with one of the people who work there. Oftentimes I ended up doing a couple of things with Devyani where it was just Devyani and myself. And when I walk past those places, it's just this incredible memory of her and what we did and what I learned from what we did. So when I see those in a painting, so the same thing is true in all these either photos or the painting. It's what it evokes at that moment. And I'm trying to think if there was any other. Oh, the one also, is it a goose with the baby?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
I love her quote. Okay. I loved, first of all, I saw that picture, that I saw the photo early on. Peter had showed me the photo early on. I give a lot of credit to Peter for the atmosphere there too, that, this sense of being able to do and see all the things you want to do and see there. But he had showed me that photo when it was first taken, and looking at that little baby under, but what she wrote about it, I just thought, because that never entered my mind when I looked at it, that she was thinking about letting go of it. I saw it as she was comforting it. She was holding her baby. And she saw it as really the other. I saw it as the beginning. She saw it as the end of the baby of it. But I thought that was, again, a very, very, very beautiful one. Their interpretation, I think, is so interesting. For all of them. I did at one time listen to all the audios that you did with the people you did them. I couldn't find it again. Okay. I often can't find things. So, but I want to make sure I talk about the Bobcat also. I loved. Now, why did I love the Bobcat? Because I have a Bobcat in my yard. So now I live in Pleasantville. I do not live in a rural part of Pleasantville. I live off a main road in Pleasantville. I have only a half acre. Okay, we all have a half acre, like the block is. And I have a trail camera in my yard, and that's how I saw the Bobcat. But the idea that I would have a Bobcat was very exciting because I've had everything else except a bear. Bear is the only thing. I have also had a fawn nursing from her mother, which was amazing. So the Bobcat to me was, when I looked at that picture, I thought, oh, I love it, because I know they really don't get to see them that often, although apparently this year everybody's saying they're seeing more than ever. So I loved the painting, I loved the photo, and it was because I related to it so personally at that point.
It's with that one. So the painting is by Lori Weisbord Polson, and the photograph is by Melina Cronin. So with Lori's painting, she did one painting of that photograph, and then she got inspired to do two. And what she had done was very kindly left both paintings at the gallery and said to me, you pick the one you like best. And I just thought, you know what? Both paintings, you can tell it's the same artist, but the approach is different. And I love that.
Yes.
And I thought, I have to put both in because I want people to see, part of this is seeing through the eyes of an artist, how the artist sees the world differently. Each artist has their own perspective. And I just love the way that Lori captured that beautiful photograph from two different.
Right. I remember that now as you're saying it, that there were two there. So I do think that's what's so interesting is these artists. So, and you chose them for specific reasons. And that would be great to know. For me, at least. No, and it's funny because sometimes I'll see, I don't know if they're connected with you in another way, but I'll see, like, if I see you at something, because I do see your postings, and it might be with some of, I don't always remember their names because I'm not great with names. That's something that's hard for me to remember, but not the impressions of. So the other, the other painting, that the horse pasture, okay, and that's because that's a place in the preserve where I often give people, whenever I'm telling them to go to Stone Barns, I'm always saying turn at the horse pasture, okay, because I think it's so distinctively different. Plus, I have spent time talking with the girl who manages all of that, because one time she was there, and I don't know, we just started to ask some questions. So I actually do know, we'll recognize each other when we see each other in other if she's riding around or anything like that. So that, to me, the simplicity of that was very beautiful, because it doesn't belong to the preserve, first of all. It really is a separate part of it. I don't think it belongs to the preserve. I think it's somebody's private stable or something. But so as I said, some of them I like because they've done something very different, and others I like because they've actually captured what it is in the way I see it too, I guess is how I would say. So looking at your paintings is almost like I'm walking through the preserve in a different way, as so for some of them, and as I said, for some of them, I would say, like the tunnel one, Tunnel to Heaven, I would say, I would never know I was in the preserve in that one, and yet I love it. I absolutely love it. So that's one of the ones that I would say I would almost love, like, discussions with. I know we never do that at the preserve, that kind of thing. But I'm in a couple of classes, and in one of my French classes, the teacher actually will put up a painting and we'll discuss it in detail, okay? Like really what you see in it and why, and the differences in, and of course we have to do it in French, which makes it a lot harder at times to really express yourself that way. But, I would love that, or a discussion of why the artist chose to do what they do. I often feel sad when one of your exhibits leaves. I have to tell you, it doesn't matter which one it is. I feel sad because you almost would want more I almost would want more out of it. I realize it's good timing in the preserve to do them regularly, but I've been touched by many of the exhibits that you did. Obviously, Sonic heroines, okay, that one, and particularly the different parts of it too. But the other one I was struck by was the photography exhibit that you did. Okay, remember where there were pictures of places in New York City and how they had, so you've done some really, really interesting ones. So I'm always excited to see the next one, but a part of me doesn't really want the one that's there to leave.
Elaine, I feel exactly the same way. I really do. And I had a gallery patron ask me, well, where does the exhibit go after it leaves here?
And it doesn't.
Because he wants to know where else he can see it. And I said, well, this is really it. It's almost like, I always feel like they're shooting stars, like they're beautiful in their moment and you need to see them.
Right.
And I said, all of the unsold pieces go back to the creative person who made them. But I have to tell you something, that most of the visual artists in this exhibit, I don't really know them. So, because what I do as a curator is I follow a lot of visual artists that their work really impresses me in one way or another. And I also go to a lot of art receptions of artists I don't know. And I'll also do, occasionally, I don't do this often, but I will do what I call a call for artists. It's not for a specific exhibit. It's just that I know that there are so many talented visual artists in this area. There's no way that I could ever be, exposed to all of them. So this is my way of kind of bringing them to my radar and hopefully matching them in the future with an exhibit.
See, now it's funny because some of the ones that I mentioned to you that particularly touched me in terms of how they interpreted something, I know that if I go and look them up, I might see something else that they're doing someplace. Because you did pick people who are local. I mean, they're definitely going to be local, local within, a little bit of a distance. But so it's like you can actually go further with it if you have the time and if you have the inclination. I happen to like, doing art is something particularly for me that I've always loved, okay? I've loved going to art exhibits, museums, lectures. Sometimes I prefer online lectures more than being in person, okay? Because they can bring two things together that you would never see together, nor would you get that close to in any museum. So I really do like where you're doing that and you're studying something that way. And that's the way I feel about that Tunnel to Heaven one, particularly. So it's possible these people would then put their, well, if it wasn't sold, of course, if it's sold, it's gone. But that they would put it in another exhibit someplace else.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And also to get back to what you said prior, I have done, as you know, some interviews with artists. And I will, with the next exhibit, we will do a panel discussion. I really wanted to do it with this exhibit, but there's 40 individual, and so that made it really almost impossible, because I feel like every artist and photographer who I consider a visual artist, I just call them photographers for this particular exhibit, because I need to be able to separate them so people understand what I'm talking about.
Who we're talking about, right?
Yes.
And which side of that picture we're talking about.
But it's wonderful to get inside an artist's mind and to know their motivation, their backstory. Absolutely. And one of the very nice things about the gallery is that we do get to showcase local artists really from the tri-state area. And the hope is that people will be interested in their work like you are and look into them more, whether they go to one of their exhibits or contact the artist about a purchase that's outside of what's in the gallery. You know, the one of the missions of the gallery is to serve the community, and that has many layers to it.
Exactly. That's what's so fun. It's a shame that really we keep having snowstorms here. This is not going to have an opening at the rate we're going because of the snow. But it is to me, it's so interesting to go in and meet them in person and talk to them about their work. That's every one of them that you don't get a chance to talk to all of them in the time, but really some of them, and to ask them about certain things that, so that sounds like an exciting thing that you're going to do in the next one then.
I'm really looking forward. Before we go, the next exhibit is called Seasonal Shifts, and it begins at the end of February, around February 28th or so, depending on the installation. And it's different artist interpretation of the four seasons. And there's going to be an exciting interactive element to this, where people who come to the gallery, people also online, can do a fun and interesting quiz that will match their personality to a season and to a particular work in the exhibit.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So I'm curious to see if, as it matches people, will it match them to what they were thinking regarding the connections they felt to the exhibit.
They meaning who's the they?
The viewers.
Like the viewers, not the art.
Right. Whoever chooses to do the quiz. It'll be just a few questions, probably 5 or so. But I'm really looking forward to this exhibit a lot, the next one. You know, every exhibit has a special place to me. And like you said, I feel like I'm losing like part of myself.
Losing a baby and don't, it's like, we're losing this. Yeah, I do feel that way when, you know, especially when it's something you relate to. Or for me, it's often something I might tell somebody about, because often when I'm at the preserve, I am the person there directing people with, you know, go look at this. And oftentimes they will say, you know, make sure you go in and see this exhibit because of something they've said to me. And because I do think sometimes people don't even know it's there. I agree.
And I've been talking to our wonderful Peter and our wonderful Lawrence about a sign, and they both agree. So hopefully we can make that happen in the near future.
Yeah. It's hard. People come in a different place, each of us, when we get there. I see that myself when I go often. Some days I want to be alone. Some days I want, so you can understand why people don't always focus there at all, even though it's clear it says the gallery. It's not like it's unclear in any way, but it is such a wonderful asset to the area specifically. To me, that's what's really important too. When you look at the places you can see art, just locally, somebody doesn't, you're passing through and you can stop in there, so I think it's just a tremendous asset. And I agree with you. Peter and Lawrence, they're amazing in the, I want to say, the attitude that they bring to the entire preserve. Okay, it's why people are such good friends with each other, is because they exude this. So yes, they deserve a lot of credit for that part of it. For me personally, I think that it wouldn't be the same place.
I couldn't agree more. I couldn't do what I do without their support and their encouragement. They are just the best cheerleaders, and they are sometimes, as enthusiastic or maybe even a little more than I am about certain things. And I just feel so lucky to be the curator and to get to work with such a wonderful staff and to get to know people like you who are such incredible supporters and advocates.
Well, it's fun to have you here. I have to say that, to have you as the curator. It's fun to know you, as to feel like you can connect because you see the person, because you're there a lot. And I think Peter and Lawrence are open to so many diverse things. That's the other thing. So it's like a great working relationship, because it's not really a working relationship. It's different than that.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Well, Elaine, listen, thank you so much for speaking with me today. And thank you so much for all that you do, because you make such a difference.